Hiya everybody, it's FC.Liverpool. This is all about LFC. It's all about everything. We want your comments, and I've got a great guest on tonight. I've got it besides my other guest as well. But this fella is a special guest. He's absolutely fantastic. He has a fantastic fan base, great pod. And I'm going to ask him about how to get onto his particular pod, because I've been on time, and if you want to see passion, watch this fella. And I'm bringing him right in now. There he is. And it's Jamie Phillips.
Mate, you all right?
Yeah, how are you? Oh, it's fantastic to see you.
Cheers, man. Yeah, I'm doing good. Not too bad.
Well, listen, Jamie, how do people get onto you? My people here who tune in.
Just come and watch me, guys. Jamie Phillips Football Chats. Come on over. Everyone's welcome. Everyone's more than welcome. Come and tune into the shows, guys.
Follow me on Twitter as well. You don't even shout at anyone, do you?
Not much. But yeah, follow me on Twitter as well, guys. You can see my handle right there. If you're on social media on Twitter, follow me there. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. Time. Do you know this fella, Camino Pillar?
Yeah, he's on my channel. Yeah, we got Carmino.
Oh, thank you, Camino. What a name. That's a fine Italian name. And JK Met. JK's Met. You never walk alone. Hello, Frank Opal as well. You'll never walk alone. Hello, mate. Thank you so much. I suppose you know him as well.
Yeah. I've sent people over.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. You're a good man. Absolutely brilliant. Love Torres, he says. I'm just going to go through these. I can't go through them all. Jamie, love LFC, they are, and Daryl Merry. I've seen these names before, I actually seen these names on your show.
Yeah, Daryl. Yeah, Daryl's a good man.
Boy, Jamie, you've got everybody on. Everybody. I want to bring in another friend of yours, actually, another poddy, but here he is, and it's Daz, all the way from.
Hiya, boys.
Yeah, man, you good?
Jamie, I've heard you shout before.
Yeah, just a little bit. It
was tongue in cheek. It was tongue in cheek what I was saying.
There's a lot to shout about these days, isn't there?
Yeah,
yes, yeah, there is. I want to ask Jamie. I'm waiting for Keith Taylor to come on. He said he'll be with us in a couple of minutes. Keith, he's one of my regular guests, and he knows about football. He knows everything about football, and he's got all these mates, hasn't he, Darren? He's got all these mates that.
Yeah, I don't like
got mates up here.
Unlike those really
footballers. Yeah. And as JK's Met said, I can't pronounce Kismet, mean destiny at Frank. That's nice.
Yeah, Jay Kismet.
Jay Kismet is it? Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Look at this. I've seen these as well, Oh, this is fantastic. LFC TV, big up chat. That's lovely.
Yeah,
big up Carlo as well. Thank you, LFC TV.
That's Baz. Just call him Baz.
And as Camino says, love Jamie's show, Ace. And that's what we want, Please, people, I know that, you're Jamie's lads, and, you follow Jamie like anyone follows like me. I follow Jamie as well, but will you press the like button, please, for me, and get the algorithm out there? It's absolutely fantastic. And listen, I'm going to go to you, Jamie. I'm going to go to you.
Go for it.
Now, my little title is We Need Defenders. Now, my producer, Jason, he always asked me the day before, and I can't really give him a title simply because I don't know what's happening within 24 hours. Now, if we go back to Daz, I said to Daz this time last week, I said, when the end of the show, I said, we never know who we could have in, because I really thought, Daz really thought, we'd have somebody, and nothing, absolutely nothing. So my question to you, Jamie, are you worried about this window?
I wasn't at the beginning. I was quite calm about it. I was quite excited about it. But what are we? A week Sunday from our first game of the season, and we're still a defensive midfielder short and a centre back short. So yeah, a little worried. I was especially watching Liverpool concede 11 goals in pre-season. It's a little worrying. But look, I think we will get players in. It's just going to be like right the stroke of midnight on the last day of transfer window. I can see it being like that. I do think we get Lavia. I think that deal will happen, and I think the centre. I was listening to Neil Jones on Redmen TV earlier, and he was talking about that Liverpool want a left-sided centre back after they've got this defensive midfielder in. So I don't know who they're looking at though. If you go, I have no idea who they're going to be looking at. But because look, the problem Liverpool have got is the longer this takes, the window gets smaller and smaller of the potential talent out there you can go and buy. Liverpool leave it too late. They're going to have to overpay for players, and Liverpool really don't like overpaying for players. They like value in the market. So it's going to be difficult. But I think they'll get it done. But it should be done already, to be fair. We're in August now. It should be done. They knew Henderson and Fabinho were leaving 3 weeks ago. Things should have been starting happening then. I will say, I do think Liverpool were caught cold by the Fabinho and Henderson transfers. I don't think they ever thought that was going to happen this summer. So I don't think they ever thought Hendo would leave. And, it would have to be a big bid in their eyes for Fabinho to go. 40 million was too much for them to turn down. So, but you still got we probably should have got a defensive midfielder last summer, not alone this summer. So, yeah, Liverpool shot themselves in the foot a little bit, and now they go after. It's like us blokes going out Christmas Eve to buy the wife the Christmas present, ain't it? We always leave it a bit late,
You know what, Jamie? It's what you said there about last season. I said 2 seasons ago, I wish I would have known you then, because I would have just said on your pod, we need 2 midfielders, and I'm talking 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
The beginning of this season, I said we need 4 midfielders, but what's being neglected, and I've said this to Daz, is our defence. Because as the title says, we need defenders. Now, I'm going over to Daz. Daz, do you agree with the title, we need defenders, after yesterday? And it was a debacle, because how many goals have we let in? All right, none was scored against us when we played Leicester. But the other team, and they weren't so good, if you know what I mean. They weren't top-notch teams. So, how many goals did we let in? 8 goals or 10 goals? I don't know. I forget now. During pre-season. And pre-season, is a little measurement of where we are. So what's your take on it, Chaz?
Well, I mean, we definitely need defenders, but you can't really gauge on pre-season, because second half we've put out a lot of the youngsters, and that's when a lot of the goals have come. So you can't really gauge that. If you noticed, a lot of our first half appearances, there was hardly any goals scored. So I'm not going to do the whole pre-season our defense is leaking, but that's because of youth as well. But 100%, we need at least 1 centre-back to come in. I'm just not trusting Joe Gomez or Matip. I mean, you saw against Bayern, though, the problem is when Trent plays inverted, Matip had to cover that space, and his legs have gone. He's like a dead giraffe.
Yeah.
He just cannot run. That's the issue that I think going forward. If Kanouté gets injured, Matip's going to obviously probably be the right-sided centre-back, and he's just got no legs.
But do you think, Jamie, because when I see Matip, I think I said on your pod, I've actually said this on your pod, I know I have. Gomez and Matip need to go. We can't rely on them next season. We cannot. And that proved, especially with Matip against Bayern yesterday, that proved it. What's your take on Jamie? Be honest now.
Oh, yeah, I'll be honest. Don't worry. Matip, yeah, look, Matip has been a great servant to this football club. We got him on a free transfer, and he's done great things at his club, won it all, played when he's fit. No, people would argue he's Liverpool's best centre-back at one time, even with Virgil in the team. He's a tremendous defender in our day with us. There's no doubt about that. But as you see now, like with a lot of players that have played for a long time under Jurgen Klopp in the intense way that we play football, he's just gone that way, and there's no getting it back once you've gone. And he needs to be not shown the door. That's a bit harsh, but he needs to be told, like, this is it now for you. We need to move on. We're progressing as a team. We need you to move on to get players in. Joe Gomez, though, is the one. I'm not sure if you should keep him or not, because we've got to remember about the homegrown factor. Joe Gomez fits into that perfectly. Joe Gomez can play right back and centre back. So I can see more benefit for the club to keep Joe Gomez because he's more versatile, he's younger, and he's homegrown than Joel Matip right now. So if it was up to me, I'd probably let Matip go, but I would make sure I get a very good third choice centre back to come in, because as much as I love Virgil and Kanouté, and I think Virgil's looked far better pre-season than he did a whole of last season. To be fair, I think he looks more sharp. Kanouté worries me, not because he's a bad player or anything. It's just his injuries. I think he missed 37 league games in the 2 and a bit years he's been at Liverpool. That's a lot, and that means we need good rotation for Kanouté, and it has to be a really good third choice centre back. And we know what Liverpool are like, and we know what Klopp's like. It has to be the right player. We could probably go and get a centre back. We can get any centre back probably for like a small price and just get him into the team, but. Look at Nat Phillips. He's a decent centre back. He clear his lines. He had there for it away, but he can't play football in the way top centre backs need to play football in this day and age. They need to bring out the ball out the back. They need to look at that 50-yard diagonal. That sort of thing is important in today's game, and that's why Nat Phillips don't fit that criteria. So that's why I said I don't know who Liverpool go by, but they do need someone. But for me.
Who would you prefer then, Jamie? Come on, be honest. Who would you prefer?
What?
If we had the money.
Oh, we had the money. I would have gone and bought Gabriel. Yeah, I mean, I would have just gone to Leipzig and bought him, because I think it's an easy transfer to do. We got a very, very good relationship with RB. With all the Red Bull teams, basically, we got a very good relationship with them. Got a good working relationship. They like, so that wouldn't be a problem. Plus, he's a huge Liverpool fan. His dad's a massive Liverpool fan. It's his love. He wants to play for Liverpool. So all that would be easy to do. Wages wouldn't be a problem because he's young. So wages wouldn't be a problem. Again, Liverpool just ain't going to spend £77 million on the centre-back. And that is where a lot of the fan base are at an issue now, because it was good what FSG did with Liverpool to start with when they brought us up, developing the squad, developing everything behind the scenes. The problem is now that Liverpool need to keep maintaining. And the problem is the transfer market is so diluted now of average players going for high transfer fees that good players now are going for extortionate transfer fees. And that's the problem. You can't always find these gems for like 25, 30 million. And that's where Liverpool are at a bit of an issue right now.
Well, Steve Evans says FSG are looking like they only want to buy kids now. Apparently signing a 16-year-old from West Ham. Yeah, and this is what we do. It's only to sell on. I'll bring Keith Taylor in, one of my regulars. Keith, I don't know whether you were listening to that, but I asked Jamie, you know, we do need defenders. It's as simple as that. We do after yesterday's debacle. Point is, who would you like to see come in as a DM? We've got to have one of them. That's a must. That's a priority. And also a left-sided centre back. Who would you like to see?
Well, evening, gents. Before saying anything, central midfield, central defence. I'd like to see. I don't know how you pronounce his name. Valuation, who Man City are after. Personally, or Delit, who's at I think he's still at Juventus. I think Delit. Not quite sure, but that's who I would like to see. Oh, he's at Bayern. Beg your pardon. He's at Bayern Munich now. Yeah, of course he is. Because the problem being is that there's not, in terms of quality, and we're talking about like, and even experience, there's not a great deal out there, is there? But prices are inflated because of what's going on in the Saudi league. And as you know, we've alluded to before, is that, you know, let's say someone like James Ward-Prowse, for instance, you know, if you want to go and sign him, you're going to pay through the nose. So yeah, Valuation would be my preference. Defensive midfielder. Look, I know we're looking at both Lavia and Andre. I would personally be looking at getting both of them.
Yeah.
Because if you look at what
Keith, everybody I know is saying sign them both. But we're looking at the owners, and the owners seem to be reluctant in buying anyone, never mind. And as Daryl Merry says, I honestly believe we won't sign Lavia or a defender. Now, don't forget, you know, we need midfielders. We still need. How many of them went? 8's gone out. Yeah. We brought 2 in. The season's starting next week. And there's nothing there. There's nothing. All this way we're getting and tweets and whatever else, we're looking at a bid may come for, you know, what's all this about? Yeah. And this, what about you, Darren? I'm sorry, what about you, Darren?
What about me? What?
No, I mean, centre back and a defensive mid. Who would you like to see? It's only the same question.
Same as the lads for left-sided, but obviously he's going to City. He would have been an absolute rock for us. But again, you know, you're looking at 77 mil City, I think, are going to get him for.
Yeah.
Virgil will be ahead of him. So 77 mil. There's such a difference between us and City. They'll pay 77 mil for a player that can sit and wait his turn. We can't do that. And I wish we could. So we could learn from Virgil. Because, you know, in the beginning, he said he wanted to come to Liverpool. He's a Liverpool supporter. And that just passed us by. So it is, we're looking in the bargain bins again. And it's a bit frustrating. Same with the midfield as well. I mean, we really thought, and I think Keith will say it as well, that by this time last week, we're like, somebody again will be in, and nobody's in.
Yeah.
And now I'm checking, you know, Lavia's in the squad to play Sheffield United, I think, tomorrow. If he plays tomorrow night, then I'm going to be even more like upset. Like, I just don't understand why. I understand we're trying to say, all right, we're not going to pay this 50 mil. Well, then just stop it. Then just leave.
Yeah,
leave Southampton alone and just go on to the next one. Stop messing with the lad's head.
Well, Steve Evans says the Americans have got the money to buy class players. The evidence that they don't want to spend is right in front of us. And, you know, obviously, when you look at all things, what people are coming out with, saying that they're businessmen. Sods off you and your businessmen. That's what I tell them. We're a football club. We should be up there. We've been in 3 European finals. We've won the Premier. We've done everything. And yet, the midfield has been neglected since we signed Thiago. Until this season, we've signed Big Slobo and McAllister. But that's it. The defence has been neglected for years. You mentioned Virgil and Alisson. They've been neglected since then. All right, they brought in Samikas, but it's been neglected. And this is the problem. Is it a problem with you, Jamie? Come on, be honest now.
Yeah. I mean, it is a problem. It's the whole club as a whole. It's since before COVID happened, Liverpool were a well-run club, and when COVID happened, I think Liverpool got a little bit lazy and a little bit like they forgot what they were good at before. That's what it always seems like to me. They got a bit lazy and forgot how good they were before and got complacent. And I don't know, like, it's easy to always blame the owners, of course it is. You know, they probably are the ones to blame. But, you know, you got 4 centre-backs there that, apart from this season, Klopp's probably always liked and rated and wanted at the football club. You know, he's never gave any indication that none of them should be here anymore. And we know we got owners who are only going to buy players if, you know, they're not going to go and buy a £60 million defender when we got 4 active centre backs that can all play, you know, and then have 5 centre backs on there. That's just not the way the club runs, unfortunately. And I wish it was different. Like Dad said earlier, I wish we could buy a player who was 50, 60 million and just wait his turn to come in. And learn under the guys in front of him. That's how we should run. We should be more proactive and not react. You know, we should be looking to the future, looking a year ahead. Like last summer, I do think Klopp actually saw that Fabinho weren't the player. You know, there was a little drop off. That's why he was going for Tchouaméni. He was looking for a natural replacement. But there's one thing we know as our team, that it's a strength of ours and a weakness at the same time. We won't get bodies in just for getting bodies in. You know, when Brendan Rodgers was in charge of Liverpool, he fell out of all the transfer committee because he just wanted players. He didn't care who they were. He just wanted footballers into the team. He just wanted players in the squad. That's why we bought Lamberts and Barinis of this world crap, because he just wanted.
And that's it.
And that's it. He just wanted players into the squad. Where Klopp and the new regime and the transfer committee and all that now, they're like, yeah, we want players, but we want the right player. We want the player that will fit the system, fit the mould, fit what Jurgen wants to do. That's why Jurgen was willing to wait for Virgil. That's why he wanted Canate so badly. You know, there weren't anyone else on his radar at that time. And I don't know what Liverpool got lined up. And that's why it's a bit of a mess right now, because it looks like they used to have players they'd have behind the scenes. Like Liverpool fans never knew who was coming to Liverpool because it just happened. We worked under darkness. Transfers just happened. And we were like, oh, that's great. I remember when we got Thiago, and then 24 hours it came up. Oh, Liverpool now getting Jota. I was like, where'd that come from? You know, that's the way we used to work. And now it's like, go back to that. Go back to the efficient way you used to work. I don't get it. I don't understand it. And now it's like we don't know what we're doing now. And it's a mess. It's a mess from top to bottom. And it's been the last 3 or 4 years. It's just been an utter mess. And they've done it to themselves. They shot themselves in the foot. And like you say, if FSG are good businessmen, they love money and they care about money, and that's what they want. Well, surely you should then put the money into the football club to keep them at the top of the game, because as soon as Liverpool start dropping off, the revenue money will start going down as well. The commercial revenue will start going down. Sponsorship will start going down because you're not where you should be. And then they'll start losing money. And then they'll probably react because, oh, shit, we're losing money. Now we need to pump more money in. It's a bit of a mess. It's a farce at the moment.
Okay, I'll go over to Brian. Brian is a regular guest, and he's all the way over from Seattle, living over there. And what's your take on this? You know, like we bought nobody since Slabozlai, And is it worrying? I've been asking everybody, is it a worrying time? I'll go to Keith as well right after you. Is it a worrying time for you, Brian?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's very simple. Like James earlier saying that that FSG, they're a good business and whatever, but they're shitty owners. I mean, I'll put it bluntly. Sorry, swearing your show, but it is what it is. I don't care. I mean, if there's a true business, some of that has to translate over into whatever business they have or whatever their investment is. I mean, they didn't become billionaires by accident. I'm sure there's some savvy, some shrewdness. I'd like to see some of that translate over into football, at least some of that competition. I mean, and after what I mean, I see what you're saying about Brendan Rodgers saying he just wanted bodies, and you got Fabio Barini and Ricky Lambert, whatever. And FSU was too compliant. They were too happy to satisfy that, because we see some of that trickling over now. This bargain basement shopping and keeping players who obviously don't fit the system or keeping them on the payroll to qualify or quantify not buying or additional players because these players are injured, we can't move. It's not get players in and not compete for top four or compete for the title. I want to think about me as a supporter, a Maui one, but whatever. I know if I would have missed out or missed a title or missed Champions League, missed runner-up, missed whatever, I'd go back and say, okay, what happened? What did we miss? What do we need to do to get the title next year? And I sure as damn well would go ahead and do it. Here we see again we're battling for fifth place. Fifth place last season, and there's this promise of an overhaul or rebuild, and nothing, crickets. 1 week before the season, 10 days before the season starts, and they're still trying to fill places on the roster. I know, like I said, I damn well have it. When the transfer window opened, I'd have the compile list of midfielders. Say, okay, update it. Who's available? How much? And go through that checklist. And I'd have those players in camp for Klopp before the start of the season.
Okay. What about okay? I'm going over to Keith because Keith, he's in the know with a few, ex-players and he's mates with them. Has any of your mates said anything? Are they worried as well about this rebuild? Well, it's not a rebuild, is it? Let's be honest. It's not even a part rebuild with 2 players in. Have they been saying anything, Keith?
I've spoken to 3 of them today. Yeah, very worried. And the overall consensus is that we've let 5 midfielders go. Now, of those 5 midfielders, we've 2 of them were attacking midfielders, Oxlade-Chamberlain and Keita. We've replaced them with 2 offensive midfielders, and Szoboszlai and McAllister. Now, that means that Fabinho, Henderson, and Milner pretty much were all defensive midfielders. We've not replaced one of them, not one, and it doesn't seem to be. And the other conversation we had today, by selling Fabinho and Henderson, those deals were done quite quickly. Why can't we do our deals quickly? Why are we waiting? I know, obviously being an ex-pro, you go, when it comes to transfers, we know how it works. We know that you come to an agreement on the fee, and that fee is paid over installments over the period of time to the agreements between the 2 clubs. Then there's add-ons as well, appearances, all the other additives and that. If Lavia is that good, go and pay it. Don't wait. Go and pay it, because the lad's got to integrate into the squad, the team, the way they play, everything else. Andre's going to be the same. Whether it's going to be Kimmich, Valverde, whoever it is, just go and pay the money. The thing is that with FSG now, they are now starting to alienate even those who believed in them, who supported them, who said and agreed with the 35 million for Mane, the money that they paid for Salah, that's gone out the window now, especially with Saudi Arabia. And we've got to now think they've got to compete with your City, your Arsenal, your Tottenham, all these, because they're all going to strengthen. United have gone and got Højlund for 71 or whatever it is. You know, we've got to go and compete. Now, they turn around and say, oh, well, we're going to spend 85 million on Nunes. Actually, no, they haven't, and they didn't. They spent an initial 60 million on Nunes, with an addition of 25 million if he hits his targets of what was agreed during the transfer. So my feeling, or personally, yeah, I'm disillusioned at the moment. I'm frustrated. I'm angry and everything else, but with FSG more than anyone. But I know that the former players are thinking and saying exactly the same thing, and they were saying it in Singapore, by the way. They were all over. A few of them were over there together, and the conversations were, what are we doing about the midfield, the replacements for the defensive side of midfielders, but also the fact that why are Gomez and Matip still there? That was actually a conversation today.
Thank you.
One of them. Why are Gomez and Matip still at the club when over the last 2-3 years we've clearly seen that they're not up to the task, and we could have got the price for them at that time and replaced them, and we haven't. Still at the club, and out of every 5 games, they'll have one good game or decent game. That's not good enough.
Well, I watched the. I was filming yesterday, by the way, for Channel 5, and they said, "Can you come back later on this afternoon?" I said, "I want to go home and watch the match anyway because I was filming all day." So anyway, I came. I was sorry I did, and I fell asleep while I was up at 5, you know, to get ready to do this bloody filming. And when I got back, this lad, the director, he said, "How did you get on?" He said, "Because we got told you're winning 2-0. I said, "Yeah." He said, but there was a cameraman there, and he said, and then we let you in, you know, but, you know, we're winning 3-2. We were winning 3-2 with 10 minutes to go. And I said, "Well, we got beat." And he was more disappointed, this lad, you know, this camera lad. And he said, "I've said all along, and it's only what we've been saying. I've said all along," he said, "this is a bloody cameraman, a Liverpool supporter from, I don't know where he was from. I think he was Scottish." And he said, "We've always needed defenders." He said, "I seen them last season. This is a lad." And he said, "I seen them last season, and, you know, I seen them wane." He said they were waning. And I said, I agree with you, because I've said to other people about this particular defending, which is woeful, let's be honest, woeful. And all right, the excuses were injuries, but we had a big enough squad, and it should have been more quality in that squad. We can afford anybody. This is what people can't get through their heads. We can afford anybody. Anybody. I think we're either the 3rd or the 5th richest club in world football, and we can't afford anybody. We can't afford this Lavia. What's that all about? I'm going over to Daz. Go ahead, Daz. You carry on from what Jamie. What Keith said.
I mean, we're looking at like the amount of midfielders that are available. I mean, the Frank Kessie one is mind-boggling as well. A Barca regular, and he's going to the Saudi league for 15 million euros. I mean, isn't that a player that we should be like looking at as well? It's. I keep saying it, and you said it very well as well. If we want Lavia, go and buy him, and that's it. Because under Klopp, he'll be 80, 90 million player in a few years.
Yeah.
So what's I mean, if we're, I mean, hopefully a 3rd bid's coming in this weekend. But what was the last bid? Like 42 plus add-ons?
Yeah. No, it was only 40. Everyone was told that it was 41 or 42. Now it's gone back that we offered 40 plus a few add-ons.
So what did we?
Are you serious?
What did we offer then?
I'm serious.
Liverpool. So what I've read is that Liverpool were offered 35 million the first time, 38 million the second time, with add-ons that went over 40 million. But Southampton want 40 million up front and then add-ons towards 50.
Okay, and the problem is what?
And apparently that's what Liverpool have offered this time. They go off for 40 million up front and then the add-ons after. Liverpool tried. Look, this is the problem. Liverpool tried to bully Southampton out of their young star, right? And the problem you have in the Premier League nowadays is that every single team in the Premier League is rich. No team needs to sell their players no more. They just don't.
Yeah.
5 years ago, you try and tell a Brighton fan that you could turn £80 million down for a player from Chelsea and just not worry about it, because they don't need to sell their assets anymore. They don't. And Southampton, although they've gone down to the Championship, they're going to take money down with them. And Lavia's an asset that they know they can get good money for. And if he stays, he stays. It's not a worry to them. Liverpool can't bully teams like they used to. Liverpool just have to pay the money, like Dad said. And the problem is twofold as well. The problem is twofold with the club at the moment. One, there was the story that Liverpool go have this massive transfer thing. I think too much stuff gets leaked on social media and everyone runs with it a lot. And I don't know how much truth is in any of it, to be fair. And the truth goes... Now, I've never really heard the club come out and say they're going to do anything. So, as far as I'm concerned, the club will just go have a normal summer like they do every summer. And things just get spoke about too much by too many journalists who pick up little things, try and run with something for clicks. And it works a lot of the time. PR is really good.
Well, I'm not. Go on.
And the second thing is, this is the way our club works unfortunately under FSG. So we finished 5th last season. The club will just want the team to get. FSG will be very happy if the team just finishes 4th next season. It's just the fact. They'll be very happy if the club finishes 4th next season because they're back in the Champions League. So they don't have to do what us fans want them to do, is put more money in to go, 4th ain't good enough. We want a challenge. That's not the way they see it. They just see it like, get back to 4th, spend the money this summer, just get back into that top 4, then you become self-sustained again. Because if you're constantly in the Champions League, you just become self-sustained because how much money comes in through commercial revenue, sponsorships and all that, because that's where everyone wants to play. And that's where that's how FSG see it. We hate it, but unfortunately we don't own a football club and they do. And they're not going to leave, guys. No matter what people say, what protests happen, what plane you fly over that sky on the opening game against Bournemouth in the first home game of the season, do you reckon John Henry's watching that? He probably don't even know that game's on. So I wouldn't, they're not going nowhere, and this is the way the club run. They want to be self-sufficient, so they're doing whatever they can just to get back into the top 4 next season. Simple as that.
Before Brian comes in there, Jamie, it's only what you were saying about the big flag, flying over on a plane over, against their Bournemouth, the opening game. And there's what I said last November. I said this. When they said they were selling, I just looked at the bigger picture. I never had a knee jerk or anything. And here's what I said. I said, this is a ploy for the January window so that the pressure won't be on them to buy, because fans will be saying, our new owners will be buying, next summer, or, hopefully if they sell now, we'll be buying in the January. And I said it'll be a ploy, and it wouldn't surprise me. This is what I said. It wouldn't surprise me if they come out after the window shuts and say, oh, we're not selling. And I was vindicated, Jamie. I was vindicated. What was you going to say? I think you were going to say something, Brian.
Oh, no. I was just saying, what you're saying. Well, no, I say continue flying the planes, whatever, and stop buying merchandise. And if you bought tickets, stay the mass walkout. I mean, there's things we can do. We can definitely sour the milk if they don't want to change their attitude or change their policies and whatnot. And Frank, we said this for a while now. I mean, as you said, this is the FSG model. Just we'll finish top 4. Well, top 5 now. Even Europa League still Europe. I mean, because again, competing for top 2 or compete for the title, that raises expectations. They expect to spend on more players to get over the top. So no, this sort of an emotional heartstring play of, having a team, an injury-prone team because the players they buy, and a thin squad rallying for 4th or 5th place, that sells, and it's more lucrative than actually trying to
Well, yeah,
defend the
it's
league
a
and win the
crack. I
title.
want you to discuss this. Okay, I want you to discuss this because I've always asked, like, the lads and whatever to comment and we discuss it. And I'll go straight to you, Jamie, because you know this lad. You know. And then over to Daz, then to you, Keith. I want you to all answer this. And then to you, Brian, finish off with you. And Jay Kismet says, take a look at Fabinho's goodbye video. Gomez says that Fabinho playing at DM made his life easier. That's why the defence is looking poor right now. No informed Fabinho in there. Now, take that as you will. Okay, take that as you will. But this is about the getting in a DM. This is about getting in a DM. Go ahead, Jamie.
Firstly, I've yet to see Gomez have a make someone's life easier. I mean, that is but if you ask me, Virgil made Gomez's life easier. But an informed look, Fabinho informed, best DM in world football at the time, no doubt about that. Fabinho hasn't been informed for about 18 to 15 months now. Even the season when we were going for the quadruple, towards the end of that, he was starting to look a bit, something weren't quite right. And then the whole of last season, he just fell off a cliff. Again with Fabinho, I think Liverpool have sold him at the right time, to be fair, because I just feel like Fabinho is mentally fried. He just needs a new challenge. He needs somewhere else to go. When you're mentally fried and your brain can't do what it wants your body to do, he's just not going to be the same player. Look, Fabinho's never been athletically pleasing or full of pace or anything like that. He's never been any of them things. But what Fabinho was great at Liverpool was reading the game. He read the game better than anyone. And he didn't need pace or athletic ability because he read the game so well. And none of that has gone away in his game. His physical nature, his athletic ability, his pace, because it's all exactly the same. That's the same now. What's gone in his game is his mental ability, and he can't. For some reason, something's gone wrong there, and he just needs a fresh start. He played 4 or 5 years under Jurgen Klopp, playing intense football, playing that lone number 6 role in a 4-3-3 that Klopp likes to play. That number 6, you have to be so good because you're a lone 6. You're not playing in a double pivot. So you have to be extremely talented. But that's going to wear you out. And unless Fabinho was injured, he always played. And I think, yes, Gomez is probably right there. And that's what Liverpool are looking for now. I think they think Lavia is that guy. And when I watch Lavia, yes, he can't replace Fabinho of the Fabinho of old that came to Liverpool. He can replace Fabinho of the last 12 months because that's a different player. But when I watch Lavia at 19, I see a lot in Lavia that I see in Fabinho. Very press resilient, reads the game really well. And what he is good at, he's a good passer of the football. Fabinho was a good footballer. No, he just wasn't a tackler. He wasn't like Polina at Fulham, who's just an aggressive tackler, gets stuck in, wins the ball back. But his passing game's not that sharp. Fabinho was a good passer of football, and he could hit a ball as well if he wanted to score. So I think that's what they see in Lavia. The problem with Lavia, he's 19 years of age, and you're asking a lot for that young kid to come in to Liverpool and play that defensive midfield role. Because whatever they say, it could look tremendous at Southampton, but the Liverpool badge holds different weight. It just does. You're going to be seen by millions more people that are going to be intercepting your game. Every little thing you do in that pitch is going to be judged, and it's a different world, and that's why a lot of players can't handle it. But I see a lot of likenesses between Fabinho and Lavia, and I see why Liverpool are going for him personally. Yeah, that's my opinion on it anyway.
Yeah, it's tough because at the moment, I mean, I'm a Curtis Jones fan. I know he does as well. But then, to put him as a 6, it's just you're throwing the towel in. I mean, going forward, Curtis as the 6 is really good, but when the attack comes at him, you saw how he's just all over the place because he's not got the two either side of him. And I am really concerned that Jones will start as a 6 against Chelsea.
I think he will.
And that's just, we've had all summer. I mean, because, yes, maybe blindsided by Fabinho and Hendo leaving, right? But weren't we going to get another DM in anyway? So I'm just confused at how this has gone. And we didn't already have a DM ready before Fabinho had even been gone to Saudi. So I don't understand. I think that's my view. I'm just concerned that our transfer strategy is nowhere to be seen at the moment.
Well, can I come in there? Because I've got a source myself, and don't write off. This is what I've just been told, and I'm just making sure there while making a cup of tea, because I knew Jamie would carry on, you see. That's why I went right over to him. No, it's brilliant. It was great. Made a cup of tea, got all to me shorts and everything. But you might.
And I'm still going while you're making your tea. I know I'm brilliant.
But get onto this. Just been hold to me source there. And I just got a message off him. Don't rule out Viega from Celta Vigo. That's what I've just been told now. Don't rule him out. Because this particular source is a great friend with the manager. And you know who the manager is.
Okay, look at that. Look at Frank with the hidden secrets.
It's that HP source.
It's the HP.
Yeah.
I think Vega is a Thiago replacement. I think that's what they're looking at there.
I just want to make a couple of points there. Jamie, you were saying about as regards to certain players. Now, I often think, and I look at defensive midfielders of doing one thing. It's breaking up play.
Mm.
And as long as you've got that engine, and one of them who could never pass, I wasn't a great passer of the ball, but he got stuck in. And he was one of the greatest midfielders that we had, that Barcelona ever had, was Mascherano. He used to be able to break up play, no problem whatsoever, but his passing wasn't particularly great. But I tell you what, 90 minutes, he was all over the place, broke up play, and I don't care. Whoever we bring in, even if they can't pass, as long as they come in and they're able to break that play up to let others then mop it up, like a McAllister's, obviously, whoever it is, to put the ball forward to the front three, then fantastic. Or carry the ball forward. Lavia, Andre, whoever it is, get them both in, because we're missing two defensive midfielders now. We're missing them. Jones is never going to be a defensive midfielder. I think Daz said, I rate Jones. Did you, Daz?
You rate him as a player, not as a 6.
No, definitely not as a 6.
No, not as a 6.
Definitely not.
No.
You know, if you go through what field now you cannot, like Bicetic, you cannot rely on a young lad who just came in at the back end of the season due to injuries to suddenly think he's going to come in and replace Fabinho and Henderson. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You just, you've got to bring in, I just still think we've got to bring in that experience. I really do. But if they're going to go for Lavia and Andre, then okay, that's fine. But one thing that you touched on there before as well, Jamie, is regards to FSG, and Brian touched on it perfectly. We've got to make FSG know that as supporters, we don't accept the way that they're running our club. And the way that you do it is don't go to games, walk out during the match, protest before or after the matches, because FSG needs to know. And they've done it remember when they were going to put the ticket prices up, and we walked out during the match, and they stopped that. At least they do listen to the fans. FSG, I've lost complete patience with them now. And Frank, I've always not that I've supported them, but I've always thought, you know what, the way they do run the club, you know, the way they've brought in
the benefit of the doubt.
yeah, give them the benefit of the doubt. No more now.
Keith, you've always
No
done
more
that.
now.
But
Yeah,
can I
no
go
more
to
now.
this? I think this is a cracking question. And it's only what you're saying, Keith. All the rest, you know, the rest of us as well. Even you, you're a big, you know, not a supporter of FSG, what I'm trying to say, Brian. And this is a cracking Anfield Road. Does anyone agree that our great club is no richer under these FSG lot than under Hicks and Gillette?
Yeah.
Well, we are richer because we're making commercial revenue that Hicks and Gillette never made. So we are richer as a club. But the problem is, Liverpool Football Club is so massive, they're always going to be rich. They're a massive brand. The brand of Liverpool Football Club is huge worldwide. You know, top 5 biggest teams in world football without a doubt, right? And so they're going to be massive anyway, no matter what. Look, Hicks and Gillette are just terrible businessmen, full stop. You know, what they did with Liverpool. You know, it's just one thing with FSG. Like, I'm not the massive FSG out person. I don't like go and talk about FSG like out all the time. There's things I see about what they do. I think is okay, is good business wise behind the scenes and things like that. But on the pitch, it's a different matter, and I don't think FSG still understand how football works on the pitch, and that's what they're struggling with. That they come from a world where you don't really buy players in their other sports. You know, it's about contracts. In football, you buy a player, you pay the agent fee, you pay you give them money for coming to the football club, you pay parents and agents and all this malarkey, and then you give them a salary. I don't think they worked out that. And also, I don't think they've worked out the transfer market changes and fluctuates year on, year out. Sometimes it'll fluctuate to a real high depth. Sometimes it'll drop down a little bit, you know, just like currency does, you know, and I don't think they've worked that out yet either. And that's their problem. Behind the scenes, they run the club well. We've got no real debt. You know, we've got a brand new training ground. The stadium's been built up. If they left tomorrow, new owners would come in and go, well, I ain't really got to do anything. All I've got to do is just give you shitloads of money to buy players. That's all I've got to do, because the infrastructure behind me is so sound. I ain't got to do now. I just got to put a thing. And that's why FSG won't sell the football club, because they see all that and no one will pay them the money they think the club is worth. And that's the issue. They think the club is worth close to what Man United is, like around that 7 billion mark. Yeah. And no one at the moment is going to buy Liverpool for 7 billion. And until someone does that, that's why they're going to stay, man. You know, that's my opinion anyway.
Well, okay, Jamie, saying that, you know, you were talking great there about everything. Can you read my daughter's comments out there?
Is that your daughter? Big up to your daughter. It's sickening of a club of our stature to be represented. We have owners that are not sports fans, just in it for the money, and LFC is like a money trick. Yeah, I agree with this. There is not a chance FSG will sell, would you? Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't either. Look, I wouldn't. Liverpool make so much money. Why would you sell something that makes money? You know, I'm not selling that. I'm not selling that unless I'm getting top money. And that's what it is. Liverpool are valued around the $7 billion mark by FSG. They're not going to take a penny less than that. And
do you think you will? You know, that's a very good point. Just answer this. Do you think they would sell if the right offer came into them?
Yeah, if 7 billion got put on the table, they go tomorrow.
Was you going to agree with that, Taz?
Yeah, I would. I mean, who says no to 7 billion? No, okay, nobody. Yeah, their love is for the money, not for the actual football club. They want to make money, and I think we've all said it. They're waiting on what's going on with Man United. I think as well, to see if Man United the highest bidder, and then they'll go from there. it's this partial investment bollocks as well does me head in, because who's going to put a partial investment into a club and have no say in it? That's laughable.
Well, that could be one of the obstacles, because I know Redbirds have put like 600 million plus into the club, and they could have turned it around and said, "Listen, this is our model. We want you to follow this," and that's not buying. That's letting like a team go on. They'll be all right. Ask the manager if they'll be all right. Don't forget, Jurgen Klopp has backed he's backed them to the hilt since he first came in. And now, all of a sudden, I think he's in a bit of a tight corner. What do you think? Just before I go on to Yuki, I just want the lads out there and the girls and everyone else, please just press the like button. Even if you liked it last week and the week before or whatever, can you just press that? You've got to keep on pressing the like. Can you do that for me, please, just to get the algorithm out there? And also, when I'm going away, our Francine has taken over. She's doing the show. And I'd love Jamie to come up.
Come on, whenever, man.
Honestly, you'll have a good... She's just straightforward, honestly. And Keith knows her. Everybody knows her.
Hey, we wouldn't get away with the net, right?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said, Jamie, it'd be great. Yeah, look at her. And there's what she says, and she's so right. She said it. At least the Glaziers buy, and they do.
Yeah.
And she said to me only today, just imagine if the Glaziers were our owners, and we'd have Casado in. We'd have Guardiola in. We'd have them all in.
We might have a lot of shit in as well at the same time, pardon my French.
Oh, yeah.
That's the problem, because I look at United's buyers in the last 5 years, and there's not a lot of them are right. They waste a lot of money, because United don't know how to do business. They waste money.
At least they try.
But Jamie, you could look at Everton as well. You could look at Everton for what they've spent and everything else. But Frank, when you're saying there before, as regards to, and the lads have spoken about as regards to selling the club, and I've said it for the last 2 weeks previously, I was given good information from someone from the Athletic when it first come out that Liverpool were looking at investing in the club last September, October. They did not look at the intention of having investments in the club. They were putting the feelers out of how much the club was worth to sell. And they had a figure of £5 million on selling the club. There were figures out there of 2 and 3 billion. No, that's not right. It was £5 billion. They had an offer of £5 billion. They would snapped it, and they were taking it. They would have taken it. And I know from what I was told last year that there was no investments. We already had Redbird come in. We'd already had LeBron James put money in. All these different investments that we'd had from outside sources. So all they were looking at was, let's see what we can get. And no bid came in anywhere near the £5 billion. And that's what it was, because they know with the revenue that they can get from television rights and everything else, they know that they really should really be getting £5 billion for the club. But they know that because of the work that they put into the training ground, the stadium and everything else, they don't really want to sell. They don't. They're just putting the feelers out. But as fans, we should be coming to a point now where we're like, enough is enough. We should be on the part of spending along the likes of Arsenal.
Yeah.
We're not going to compete.
They spend over like 200 million out. And we've spent what? 50, 60? I just don't know even how much we've spent, but it's well below 100 million. And we're still moaning about this Lavia, lads. And before I go to Brian, the Anfield Road says, how can this club allow Guardiola join City and we are not even in for him? We have totally a wrong attitude to the market, and albeit the market side, and we have. This is what I've been saying for donkey's years, to be honest, not just now. What do you reckon there, Brian?
Well, I agree. We've had a need for a center back for how long? And he also plays the center back also plays left back. So there's some versatility there. We buy him. There's our center back needs gone because Jesus, yeah, right. How are Gomez and Matip still on the squad after how many years that we know what they're capable of or incapable of? So I mean, it's time to move forward. Just you buy Guardiola and it is done. We have our center backs, our trio, Konate, Virgil, and Guardiola. Let's go back to something you were saying earlier about the owners. You don't think they understand the market? No, I think they do understand the market. They understand very well. Or maybe not as well, but when they bought the team, there is due diligence done. They knew what they're investing in the club. Granted, it was 12 years ago, and maybe Damien Connolly sold them a bag of goods or aggrandized a little bit, but they knew what they're getting into. And this is not their first sports franchise. They owned the San Diego Padres before this, and they owned the Red Sox before this. And there's not a bigger money suck than baseball. I promise you that, because there's no real quote unquote revenue sharing. I mean, the money goes to each club, so that's why you have disparity between what the New York Yankees and say, at the time, obviously the Mariners, but some other club. So yeah, they knew the landscape. They just don't care. It's just again another notch in their financial bedpost. They don't really. They thought there was like this constant flow of TV money would sustain the club. No, they've lost Champions League money from Europe. So now I guess they're scrambling. I don't know. I don't think they. I just don't think they're very good owners at all. And yes, I'm vehemently in the corner. FSG out. If this is the best they can offer, then no, move on.
Right, fair enough.
No, I think that's a good shout, actually. Alexander Delos says, FSG PR is there if the window goes tits up. But here's what I've said. I've always called, I don't know whether I mentioned this on your show, Jamie, they're a washing machine. They spin a lot every summer, every window they spin, and it's just like a washing machine, and it's a never-ending spin from them. Now, I don't know who said, I don't know whether it was you, Jamie, who said, the last week of the window or whatever, it'll be all this and starting to panic, and that'll ease the fans then, the fan base. But I'm not buying it anymore. I'm really not buying it. Because Klopp, as he said, wanted players in to start pre-season to get used to the system. 2 players out of 8. 2 players out of 8.
Well, maybe he got his players, and that was all we were buying. maybe that is the thing. Maybe that is it. Klopp got his players. Maybe that was all we were buying. As I said, I think we were looking at a midfield of Henderson, Fabinho, McAllister, Szoboszlai, Trent Gale inverted, Curtis Jones, Stefan Bajcetic, and Harvey Elliott. I think that was the midfield we're looking at again with next season. As I said, I don't think Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp ever envisaged Fabinho and Henderson leaving this summer, and they have. And it's caught Liverpool cold, but this is Liverpool's own doing because we should have replacements that just in the team right now. We shouldn't be shopping around lastminute.com. That's what we're doing.
But Stephen Snape says, we alluded to it on Tuesday, clubs will be reluctant to entertain doing business with us if we carry on like we are. Quietly, FSG are eroding our reputation. Think about that. I think that's it's the GOAT. Big up the panel, big up Jamie. The GOAT.
Man.
What a name, what a name. And as LeBron James laughing all the way to the FSG bank, and that's true, that's true. 31 million he walks away with every year, that fella. And I don't know what he does. Wears a scarf, I think. He wears a scarf. I'm gonna read out something. 100% Frank, our figure in 2021, 780 million operating cost. Only Real Madrid earn more than us. I won't mention the other lot, says Anfield Row. Can I just read out this? I think this shocked me, actually. It's from one of my crowds who come on. Let me get it, please. And it's Lee Brady. Listen to this, lads. The state of our squad. Liverpool squad as it stands. Goalkeepers. Alisson, Kelleher, Adrian.
All right.
Defenders: Van Dijk, Canetti, Matip, Gomez, Quansah, Phillips, Alexander-Arnold, Robertson, Tsimikas, Bradley, Scanlon. Midfielders: McAllister, Szoboszlai, Jones, Thiago, Betetic, Elliott, Clark, Morton, McConnell. Attackers: Salah, Diaz, Jota, Gakpo, Nunes, Doak, Fryan, Dorf.
Yeah, that's quality. Look, the forward line, we can't argue with that. Though.
No, but that's the squad.
I don't think that's as bad as Penny. Like, if you do City squad, yeah, because there's a myth that City have got a huge squad. City haven't. City have got quite a small squad, actually. But the problem is they just got 16 world-class players. City have just got 16 world-class players who stay fit. That's the difference.
That's the diff. That's what I was just going to say, because our injury record throughout the seasons has been woeful, absolutely dreadful.
Do you know what FSG are hoping for? FSG are hoping for that all 115 charges that Man City got come back guilty, because then FSG are going to be like that. We told you to do it our way, you know. And because if that does come back guilty, yeah, and City are guilty of all these charges, FSG are just going to sit on the top of the mountains and go, look, we told you. We were competing against cheaters the whole time. We were doing it the right way. We were investing in the right way. We competed against these. We should have won a lot more doing it the way we were doing it. I'm not saying it's right, but I can tell you right now, that's how they go act if City get found guilty of all them charges.
Yeah, but I understand that. I really do. But I don't think they'll ever be charged.
Oh, no, they're going away with murder, man. Can you somebody explain to me?
Biden will never be charged, or Hunter Biden, you know, what they're getting away with.
I need to know why.
Ridiculous.
Every single player City go for that are valued at 100 million or something like that, they somehow get cheaper all the time. I need to know, because Gravano was around that 90, 100 million mark, and they bought him for 77. I need answers.
I think they'll get charged with some of them, but it's not going to knock them out the league. It's not going to knock them out the Champions League. They'll get
a fine.
Yeah, a fine.
Just get another big FD fine, and that'll be great for UEFA or FIFA or whoever it is who's going to fine them. That'll be fantastic for them, because it's more money in there.
Can anyone on the panel tell me this? What's the difference between City and Juventus? Juventus got kicked out of Europe. And
demoted to the bottom of the league.
Yeah.
Well,
is it the FA that don't have balls?
Juventus done.
Rangers, remember Rangers? They went right down to the bottom of their leagues.
I think Juventus did a lot of illegal stuff as well.
Yeah.
I went to the courts that actually got banged up for. You know, the Italian mafia weren't messing around. You know what I mean? There's some horses' heads in a lot of beds that time. You know, that's all I'm saying.
I don't know whether to take this as a compliment, but Jay Kismet says,
well, then Colombia won the league, wouldn't they?
You
do look a bit like Des Nyland, actually.
You want to see how Jez? We used to call him Jez. There's Jez going in. It's so funny. I always thought it looked like Brad Pitt, but
I was thinking exactly the same thing, Frank.
Thank you. I knew you've got to come on again with those compliments. And I know that you've got to go, Jazz. Are you going to hang on or what? Or are you still
I've got like 5 more minutes, and then the kiddos, I got to sort them out.
Okay, all right. I'd like you to comment on this, actually. I will never forget after we won the Champions League, and John W. Henry said, we will back Jürgen to strengthen the team. Well, that was one of our worst windows in the COVID year. So they've been talking crap for ages. I think I'm one of the few who's actually met John Henry, and I shook his hand. It was on LFC TV, and we were watching the Arsenal game, me and St. John. And anyway, the Saint said, I've got to go meet me lads, you know, after the game, because we did it at like a phone-in for LFC TV. So I said, yeah, okay. So we went to the hands and met his lads, and there was only one other fella, and we were waiting for he and his son. And there was one other fella in the bar and grill in Brunswick Street. So, you know, me and the Saint were just standing there. And I'm standing there, the Saints look at, and he said, there's John Henry over there, you know, with Wayne. So anyway, I walked over. I said, I'm going over to him. So I walked over to him, and I went, hello, Mr. Henry. And, you know, and he's got the worst handshake in the world. It was like holding honest to God, a wet fish. It really was. And, you know, I looked at him. And I said, do you see that lad over there? That man, I said. I always called them lads. I said, do you see that lad over there? There was the Saint leaning on the bar. I said, he's a legend. I said, anywhere you can go in the world, you might see his name on the back of a Liverpool shirt. I said, it's Ian St. Oh, he said, who is he? And I said, it's Ian St. John, a proper Liverpool legend. And I was like, as I was pointing, the Saint thought I was calling him over. He walked over. And I said, this is our legend, Mr. Henry. And he went, and who are you? What did you do? And that sickened me. I told him about it. What did you do? You know, and I thought, I can imagine what I said anyway. And, you know, to me, he said, everything is in hand, because we got beat at Anfield by Tottenham. That Gareth Bailey scored a cracker, and we got beat 2-0. And the unfortunate thing was, he just said, everything is in hand. And at that moment, I said, no, you know, I never said it. I just thought it. I said, no, it isn't. You're a phony, you. I think I've been vindicated even on that. Ian Golden, imagine a bad injury to one of the two signings we have made. Of the three midfield players, we had kept Thiago, the player with the worst transfer record. And I'm going over before you go to Daz. What do you think of that comment there about it from Ian Golden?
I mean, I'm sure all of you watched the Bayern game yesterday, and when McAllister went down, I was like, oh no, not again. You know, thank God it was just me to me, and Klopp said it's all good. There, yeah. I mean, we've all talked about this, haven't we? I mean, Hendo and Thiago, I would have let go, and Fabinho, I would have kept. You know, I mean, you can't rely on Thiago for more than 20 games a season. Then what's he doing? What's he doing playing for Liverpool Football Club? I hate the word luxury player. We've talked about it over and over again. Liverpool shouldn't have a luxury player. They should have players that can play 90 minutes, 38 games a season in the league. And Thiago, what's the point of having him? He's not even fit for the season to start.
No.
Well,
why are we talking about him going?
Yeah. Well, you know, we were talking about DMs. I'm not even trying to pronounce this lad's name. I'm sorry, Jack. I was hard enough to mention slow. I don't forget his name. Dominic's name, you know. Anyway, he says, "How about we play Gomez as a DM?"
I won't let Gomez off the bus.
Is he day drinking? That lad day drinking?
I wouldn't even have Gomez on the bench.
No.
This is it, you know, and lads,
There's one player I'd play at 6.
Who's that?
And he's not fit.
Oh God.
And that is Thiago. Thiago's the one I would probably play at the 6. And if he had pre-season, I would say he starts the 6 against Chelsea if he had a pre-season, because that makes the most sense to me. Because Thiago last season was Liverpool's best defender in midfield when he played. He was better than Fabinho defensively. Yeah. So I'd probably say he would be the 6, but he's not fit and available. But I do think if we do get Lavia, Thiago would be the one that might play 6 as well with Lavia through the season. I think that might be the way we go. Because I think Stefan can play a little bit further forward than the 6 role. You know, he's got good ability where he can. I think you want him on the ball. You don't want him being that 6 that's a destroyer. That's not in his game. You want him on the ball because he's got good technical ability. I'd like him to have that more freedom alongside a number 6 in a double pivot. I think that'd work well. But yeah, Thiago's the one. If I was, Gomez, I'd leave on the coach. I wouldn't.
I agree with you there, but in retrospect, when you look at young Batatic, he went in as a DM, didn't he? And he was injured right away. You know, he played a few games. And, you know, that's the sad case. And look at Thiago. Now, Thiago, he can't fulfill a season. And his hip's gone now. And once you have... When I was in Aussie, they turned around and said there was this fella and he broke his hip. But he never broke his hip. He had something wrong with his hip anyway. And the doctor said if anything goes wrong at a certain age, and what he said was once you turn 30, it's very hard to get away from the pain of the hip if you've injured it. And this is Thiago, and he's over 30, 32. And I'm just going on a medical term there, that's all. And Jay Kismet says, what is it that the owners have had their moments where you have to question their mindset and how they view Liverpool? Their plans to trademark the LFC name was the indication on what their thinking was. Don't forget, they tried to patent the Liver Bird, and so did Dixon Gillette, by the way. They tried to patent it. That belongs to the city of Liverpool. It doesn't belong to America. It doesn't belong to Boston. It doesn't belong anywhere. It belongs to Liverpool. It belongs to every fan. Every fan it belongs to of Liverpool Football Club, no matter where in the world. But they shouldn't be able to brand that, patent it. Because if they painted it, anyone, new owners or anyone, if they were using the brands of the LFC shirt, they'd want money. You know that. They copyrighted it, you see. It's shocking. I think that I don't like them. I really don't. I really don't. And this is the worst thing about it. Hello, everyone. I'm more worried about the defence now that the midfield guys, after these pre-season games, need a DM in now. Fab is gone. Batatic is still injured. And no Laboa, no Thuram, and no anyone, as he says. Yeah, Jamie?
Sorry, I was just seeing my wife there. More about the defence now than the midfield. Look, it's definitely an issue. I mean, Matip in that game the other day I could do a better job. Trent at right back, it's a worry. I ain't gonna lie. I do look at Trent now and look at his skill set. I just think he's so much better going forward and in more of that inside right position where he can just be the creative genius that he is. He's never going to be the right back defensively that I think we all want him to be, because you're going to take away a lot of his game if he can't get forward, in my opinion. And he hasn't got that defensive mindset to get back into right back areas. He just ain't got it in his mindset. He's never going to. So it's definitely an issue. Me personally, I would have gone and got a right back this summer. I would have gone and got a really good defensive right back. That is just a defensive right back. And I would have put Trent in midfield, But I wouldn't like put him in. I'd play Trent alongside a defensive midfielder in that double pivot and have Trent do what Thiago used to do at Bayern Munich and just be that creative outlet that runs the midfield like a Pirlo did at Juventus. Didn't play on his own, playing that double pivot. You had the defensive midfielder that win the balls and then give a Pirlo or Thiago that room to be creative in the midfield and run the game. And that's what I think we should be doing with Trent personally. That will get the best out of him professionally. But we're not going to do that because just
Well,
That's the head scratcher. I mean, you had well, as soon as you heard like Pavard's on the market, oh, there you go, center back, right back, and yeah, so they also distribute the ball somewhat. But yeah, there's two birds, one stone. I don't know why we didn't go after him. At least make a play for him.
Well, there's a very controversial comment here, and it's by Darryl. He says, we need to get this on our heads. Sorry, guys, but I think Klopp is a yes man, too scared to say anything to the owners.
Yes. Well,
Does anyone agree with that?
If you watch my shows, Dads will know. I've had my things with Klopp last season where I don't think Klopp.
No, I know. I've seen.
I don't think Klopp did his job accordingly last season, but doesn't mean I want him gone or anything like that. But I don't know if he's a yes man. I don't know. I keep going back and forward with this all the time. Is he a yes man? Is he? What I actually think is that Jurgen Klopp doesn't hate FSG like we all do.
But he backs them.
I think he's got a million reasons to. Yeah.
I think Klopp. I think I always go to listen to Klopp when he doesn't talk about football. Klopp's a socialist, right? That's what he is, and he doesn't like. I don't think Klopp deep down likes these sort of owners that can come in and just break FFP rules and not get punished for it and buy whoever they want in the world with no worries financially and stuff. I don't literally think he likes it. And I don't think he likes the way FSG run Liverpool or anything, but I think he admires them. I do think he actually admires the owners. So I don't think you're ever going to get... I mean, I've always wanted Klopp to say something about the owners, just, make a real point. He said little things here and there last season, but, look, Klopp is extremely safe in his job because if FSG sack Klopp, then the whole world is coming for him. So they're never going to do anything. Klopp's job's safe. So,
but Jamie, I heard you saying once, if Klopp left, what would we do?
Oh, the world would go for FSG. The world would go for FSG.
Yeah.
I've always thought it would be interesting to see how, because I've got a thing that if Klopp left, the new manager that comes in all of a sudden spends more money than Klopp, yeah, right? And then the fan base would be like, hang on, whoa. We're the best manager of our generation. And you never gave him the money that this new manager's getting. What's going on there? And then there's going to be all these weird theories and stuff that comes out like Klopp didn't want to spend the money or it'd be all this nonsense. So I just think Klopp doesn't hate the owners like we want him to. And he's quite happy in his job to be perfectly fine. I mean, that's what I feel.
No, I tell you, you mentioned the social one. Can I just add this to the stream, boys? Can I just add this? And what it is, it's my mate, and he sells these. They're brilliant. Go to @scarf or a badge.com. All quality stuff, great reasonable prices. So, if you want your T-shirt, I'm getting a couple before I go away. Obviously, I always wear this. This is when we won the Prem. So proud of this. And they wash brilliantly. This has been washed millions of times. The quality, the colour, everything, the shapes is always there, except when you put on weight. But this is this is the most important things. It's an evening with Phil Thompson, and it's over there in Birkenhead. Do you know anything about this, Keith?
Tomo does. I mean, I don't know about this particular one, but Tomo does so many. He really does. All the lads do.
Yeah, because he's your mate, isn't he? So,
yeah.
But anyway, it's over there. It's on the 14th, and if you can get along there, all the better. But this is what I want to talk about. It's only when Jamie mentioned he's a socialist as Klopp. And the title here, Marios Manzos, he's a Greek lad. He's one of our regulars on the show, on the Tuesday show. And he's written a book called The Social One, and why Jurgen Klopp was a perfect fit for Liverpool. because as you know, it stems from Shankly and all the socialism and everything else. And this is what we're all about, especially, Liverpool football fans. And the book signing, and in conversation with some fella named Frank Carlyle, and it's at Waterstones, Liverpool 1, Thursday, August the 17th, between 6:30 to 8 p.m. And we all go for a bevy afterwards. Taz is flying over from America, and so is Brian. They're flying over to be with us, and then they're all going to the game. We're all going for a bevy. I'm only joking, that's too panic.
You're paying the ticket.
But, I just want to get that in, for the 17th.
Just want to jump in one quick note. Sorry, Frank. I just saw something on MSN.com that Microsoft Liverpool just or allegedly made an offer to Celta Vigo for Vega.
What did I tell you, boys?
So apparently Vega's in play. Blue Horseshoe likes Vega. So yeah.
What did I tell you? Hey?
Yeah.
And I got that before. I got that the other day. And I said, I can't mention anything. This is on the other podcast. I said, I can't mention anything. He just sent me a message there before. And he said, everything's on Slack, Frank. I said, can I mention it? And he went, yeah. So I mentioned it.
Well, Frank, I got to go, but
oh yeah, mate.
Thanks for having me on again, and all the best. Please like and subscribe to Frank's channel, please, and to Jamie's as well. But Keith, Brian, Jamie, Frank, appreciate it, and up the Reds, and yeah.
Yes.
Hopefully, by next Thursday.
I was just going to say.
Hopefully, we won't have the same damn conversation we've been having for the past 3 weeks.
Yeah. We'll be saying, where will he fit in? Hopefully, we'll be saying, where will he fit in now? With no
fit in.
Well, those are the ones we want to have. Yeah. Where does this person fit?
Thank you so much, Daz.
Thank you, Daz. Hope the
What a lovely fella he is. He's really nice. And he goes on your channel, doesn't he, as well, Jamie?
Yeah, Dad's a great guy.
So listen, a question. A question for you. And this question is going to be a hard one. I'm awfully sorry. It's not about FSG, by the way. It's not about FSG. And what it's up, mind you, FSG might come into it. The stand. The new stand. I've been watching it today, and I said months ago, I think I said to you lads, there's no way that's going to be ready for the beginning of the season. No way. Because I seen no more than 4 lads all through since the roof started to go on. All through, no more than 4 lads working on it. 4 lads. And there's been nobody working. Not one fella was working over the weekend coming right through the summer. Not one. Not one. Might be a watchman. Yeah, fine. He's walking around the site. And so what do you think of that? Is it bad business or is it bad? Well, I just don't know. I'll go to you, Jamie, about the stand, the new stand. Do you think they should be penalised?
I think the company that they used went out of business or something, didn't they? Something like that. That was putting the tiling on the top. I think that company went out of business. So why they were doing it? So
okay.
I think, and then they had to find a new company. That's what I heard, because they didn't expect this to go over time. It was meant to be ready, like the other stand. Look, they got the main stand ready, didn't they? So they didn't expect this to happen at the Annie Road End stand. So. I believe what they did, that one of the companies that does the tiling went out of business, and then they had to get another company in, and that's what's pushed them back a little bit. I think that is the reason. That's why you probably didn't see people working, because there was no one to actually work.
Jamie, I was watching try and get it. There's a fella named Mr. Grove, and I watched them before I come on the show. The pod, and he showed the inside, and there's about 3 or 4 months' work that has to be done.
That's
This
why
is
it's
huge.
October, isn't it? Yeah, so
And as you said, Jamie, you know, about the stand, you know, the main stand, that was done. Well, they got Carlyle in for that, and Carlyle went bust, not after doing ours, you know, but they went bust. And someone mentioned it, Steve Evans mentioned it, you know, this is terrible, and, you know, well, at least it's not Carlyle, he said. And I turned around and I said, if Carlyle was doing it, it would have been finished. And it certainly would have been. But I think they're an absolute disgrace. So who'd you blame for that? And
I just think I don't think there's anyone to blame. I just think if companies go bust, they just go bust. It happens all the time, don't it? When you're building works and happens. Unfortunately, it's just one of them things. I think the outside's pretty much done. I think it's just, as you said, the inside. That is what they're racing against time with. That's why they couldn't open. So I believe against Bournemouth, the bottom of the stand will be open. It just won't be the top of the stand or something like that. So. No, it'd be amazing when it's done. Anfield's going to look amazing when it's done. It's going to be mad that the Kop is the smallest stand now. That's madness. I don't know. I believe there is, because they've talked about building on the Kop, but I believe there's some kind of reason why they can't. I'm not sure if it's to do with the council or something like that, why they can't build on that side of the Kop. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, for some reason they can't extend it. I don't know what it is. You guys might be able to know more than me, but
is it a setback? Is that what it is?
I don't know. It might be a council issue. I'm not sure. I mean, It doesn't help when Hicks and Gillette sold up all the houses around it and try and move everyone out, and then no one actually needed to move out because they were never knocking Anfield down, and now them houses are now derelict. It's a sad state. You know, that's on the.
It's all been cleared now, though. It has changed. It's changed dramatically. But I got a message through, and it's from a very good mate of mine, actually. And he said, "That Jamie fella's great, isn't he?"
Oh, he's solid. Yeah.
Yeah, Ian Golden it is.
Appreciate
Jamie fella's great, isn't he?
I don't shut up, though. That's my problem.
But, you know, it's just it's what we say, it's what we do, and look, Steve Evans, Viega deal is to loan him back for the season, Frank. What part do we need of players who will improve our team? So our owners and the team they employ for transfers do not get about that. It's a joke. Curtis is not a DM. Batatic is great, but still young. Get your effing checkbook out. That's what he says. Because, as you know, he's a FSG outer. He definitely is. I know Stephen very well. You know, he's a good friend of mine. The Southampton game last season told you how good second string defence was.
Or how bad, should we say? Yeah.
Well, it's going to be shootouts this year. You know, it will be. I mean, we like 5-4, 4-3, 4-4.
We're going to score a lot of goals, but I can see.
Yeah.
And Neil
So.
Jones loses possession often. Number 6 is a position you can't lose the ball in. And that's what you said, Jamie, before about Fabinho, you know, losing his, you know, his legs have gone, and so therefore he'll loses the ball, and that's what you said. Jerzy Dudek, best player in the world at Liverpool, FC Poland, says Fabinho pillar.
He was the best goalkeeper in the world officially when Liverpool first bought him. That is true.
He won us the European Cup.
Yeah,
I know they all did. You know, please don't get me wrong when I say that, but you know, the penalties. That was up to the 2 goalkeepers, Dada and Jerzy.
Yeah. Have you watched the penalties back on that game? Dudek is like right in front of every penalty taker.
So far up his remember in Evertonian said he cheated away because he moved off his line.
It's brilliant. I love it.
He moved off his line. Oh, you can't win anything with it.
It's Steve's saying now. Okay.
Stephen Snape says a lot of fans have been ambiguous about FSG's approach for quite some time, but given their net spend, they are rapidly alienating a large section of the
Yeah, they
fans, and I think that's a very good quote or comment. And Anfield Road, Frank, just add to my earlier point on FSG and X and Gillette when I said richer, I meant promise in the market that not a do you know what I was, honest to God, I was going to mention, I was going to say, I think he meant richer in the, the transfer market. And I always remember X and Gillette, and when Rafa was our manager, when he was looking after us, he turned around to them and said, I want Torres. Now, at the time, Torres was 24 million. And that was a lot of money. A lot. And he got him. He gave him the money. Am I right, Keith?
Yeah. And look what he done.
Yeah.
If you look at us over a period of time, and I'm talking about, okay, look, every club, every team goes and buys and spends money on a player, Keita, for instance. But you will spend a lot of money on the odd one where they don't come up to the standards that you want to require. But Torres, Alisson, Van Dijk, you go and buy quality, you get quality, and and you're not always gonna be successful. What I was going to say to you before, we were saying about like getting a centre back. One of the reasons that we might not get a centre back is that the fact that they bought Bajcetic as a centre back originally when they brought him over from Spain. So don't be surprised that if, as expected next season, Bambi on legs, Gomez and Canate get injured, because the one thing about Fabinho, he was always a go-to man to go into central defence, wasn't he, if we had any problems. But I honestly think that if we struggle, we'd be looking at Bajcetic as a centre defender if we don't go and buy one.
And that's the point. Well, he did, when the injuries occurred to the likes of Van Dijk, you had the likes of Henderson and Fabinho, didn't you, go to central defence? But he did okay.
That's been the MO, though. I mean, we've had Stuart Downing playing left back. We've had Emre Can playing centre back. We've had Henderson playing centre back. Fabinho, exception, I guess he played centre back before. But I understand the sentiment. Every tool can be used as a hammer momentarily, but you need a hammer. Go get a hammer. We need a centre back. Just go get one. Even if it's a loan, a year-long loan, they find some other club back in here until we decide. It'll come around to what on the transfer window deadline, but there'll be a loan for a centre back. They won't necessarily buy one. I don't know. Again, that's the part that kills me. As far as the club spending, as a support, I don't care what they spend. I'm not saying go out there and break the bank, saying sign 100 million, 140 million, 30 million. Just identify the need, go in, get the need, get the player. If right or wrong, 15 million pounds, 50 million euros, 20 million euros, get the player in, get them into camp early so Klopp can do something with them. And if you're wrong, there's still time in the window, get someone else. That's my whole thing. I'm not saying, I don't think anyone is here saying get into an arms race. Just feel the need.
But there's also, can I just ask the people, please, people, can you just press the like button, please, for the sake of the show and, these great lads on there. They're absolutely brilliant. And
guys, we've got 48 people watching. Let's get to 48 likes. Do it now. Come on. 48 watching, 48 likes from 31. There you go, 54, 50 likes. Hit that fun button. It's free to do. Come on, help Frank out.
Yes,
thank you, Jamie. Thank you. And the Anfield Raw says hit the likes. Thank you, Anfield Raw. You're a good man. FSG asking for partial investments as a joke, says Charlie Wood. The only investment they want is investment in FSG. That's a very good point. Not LFC. In FSG, not LFC.
Well, that was like,
and I think it's come to the fore tonight. It really has, because I'm panicking. I really am. And Lee Brady says, when you go away, Frank, I go away on the 5th of next month, and our Francine's she's taking over the show. She'll be with me next
Oh, where you headed?
Thursday. So I'll be from Francine. I'd love Jamie to come on with it.
Oh, come on.
There'll be a big fight on it. Hey, hang on a minute.
I'll be good.
Oh, brilliant.
Well, don't hold your breath. £21 million offer on a 34 million valuation for Vega.
Is that it? Is that what that
We'll
says?
see. Yep. Another site, yeah.
But it says like it's we're going to loan them back for another set. We can't afford that. We've got to have them.
But if he's 34 million, just pay the 34 million. I get some of the negotiation, but why this silly dance?
Just pay
it. Time is not our friend. We just get him signed.
Because I do know that he's been told to Liverpool's a great club for you to go. That's what he's been told.
Okay.
If you know what I mean.
We are Liverpool. We want it for 21 million. Well, we're Celta Vigo. We said 34. I guess we showed them.
Jake Kismet says, we're allowing folk like Elton John and Taylor Rift to perform at Spiritual Anfield, both into their devil work, and on top of that, you have Bron wearing women's clothes. FSG is sold out. That's just crazy, isn't it? But these are genuine people, fortunately. They've come out with a little joke and that. And Charlie Woods, FSGs don't want to spend more than 40 million for a player. I said this in June, and I think you're so right there, Charlie. And we've been saying it tonight. We've been saying it.
Okay. It's the best £40 million player you can find. Yeah. Okay.
I don't mind that though. I ain't gonna say I want FSG to go and buy £40 million players. That's what I want. That's what I think we all want, to get into the team. I don't think we're all he's asking for the £150 million players. I think we're all quite realistic.
Yeah.
But go and get me the £40 and £50 million players in. That will boost our team up, because that's all we're asking for. We're not here sitting here asking for miracles. This is the thing we're all getting irritated with.
But all right, Jamie. All right. Let me put this question to you then. To you, the same question to you, Keith, and right over to you. And I'll just this one question: how much do you think, with FSG, still in control and everything else, and holding it? How much do you think that Liverpool should spend every summer?
It's a difficult one. I've always said spend wisely. That is better than overspending on players that are not that good. So
okay.
Spend wisely, but 100. It depends what you need. So this summer, I think Liverpool need at least to spend a minimum of 150, 160 million minimum this summer. They need to do that this summer, but it all depends what you need every year. Sometimes when we won the Champions League and Premier League, look, the Premier League winning season, I bought Thiago, Jota, and Tsimikas as a backup left back. Pretty good summer, considering we just won the Premier League. That's 3 very good players we brought in. Sometimes you don't need to spend. It all depends. This is the problem. We're always 2 transfer windows behind, and we got to play catch up. So that means we have to spend. I would say what we spent like 90 odd million last year. We have to spend at least 160 minimum this summer, and then get the players in. Then next season, probably another 100 million. If you look at it, Villa are spending 100 million a season. Tottenham are spending around 100 million this summer. 100 million. I would actually say 100 million in today's market is about what you're looking at minimum to spend, because players' values are so high now. I'd say 100 million minimum, and then whatever you go build up to as a max sort of.
So you've got to look, though, Jamie. I'll go to Keith now, and then over to you, Brian. you've got to look at this. You know, my daughter Francine mentioned stature. No matter where you go in the world, Liverpool, you know, if there's kids, grown-ups or whatever. As I said, I was out filming yesterday, and there was these foreign people, and they noticed that I had a T-shirt on, and it's what you bought me, funny enough, Keith. Do you ever remember me? Remember buying a thing for my birthday?
Yeah.
And it was the Liverpool badge, you know, a Nike thing, and I wore it. So you'll see it on the telly come October, I think. So anyway, I was wearing that, and this fella came over to me. He didn't know that I was filming, and he just said, "Are you a Liverpool supporter?" I said, "Yeah." He's foreign. I don't know where he came from, and his family. And this is the point. This is the point. No matter the fan base, there's a hell of a lot around the world. And if you see anybody, if you've got something, I'm going away and I'll have something about Liverpool on, and they come and talk to you, they will. You support Liverpool, you know, no matter what. And that's the problem. That's the problem with these owners. They haven't a clue about the fan base around the world. They just haven't.
No.
Paul Bake's been collared by his Evertonian boss. Some great points again, boys, but the Blue Boy boss has taken me back to work. Up next week's shows are better news for us all. News for us all. So it's this lad's name, unfortunately. Some lads on here. Sustainable paths are the key to success, says Amarali Ghaznavi. I hope I've pronounced. I think that's a cracking point there. Sustainable paths are the key to success. And that's what you've just said, Jamie. That's what you're saying, Keith. And what about you, Brian? You know, all right, Jamie, how much do you think that Liverpool should spend in this summer and in future summers? Don't forget, we've got to replenish. We can't rely on the same players every season.
So this summer, they got, look, we need at least another new midfielder. I'd say 2 midfielders and a centre back. I'm always worried about buying too many players though, because then you've got to gel them in, right? So I think if we get a Lavia in and a centre back, that'll be 3 midfielders and a centre back in this summer. And if you look at the quality of them, that would probably be pretty decent if the quality is good, you know. You got to. It depends how, like, as we said, you could spend 80 million a few years ago and get about 8 players of decent quality. And now, you know, 80 million gets you a Wolves player. You know what I mean? It's just, this is where we are now. I think Liverpool got to spend, I think Liverpool got to spend at least 150, 160 above net this summer to get Liverpool back where they want to be, and us Liverpool fans back where we want to be. The problem is the owners see it differently. They just want to get back to 4th, which means you don't have to spend that much money to get back into 4th. So that's the way. Going to the future, though, 100 million minimum every summer is probably where Liverpool should be, because we should be then going, if it's only 2 players in, by £50 million players, or just one 80 to £100 million player, depending how good the squad is. That's how I'm probably going to say you should spend minimum every season is 100 mil, because then they can do that. There's no doubt they can spend 100 million. They're going to make that back in the season anyway, so it's not a problem. So
that's where the business acumen comes in, and the business ethos with them is spend less but make more. That's their ethos, unfortunately. And as Stephen Snape says, the forwards will only flourish when an experienced, robust midfield and a watertight defence, putting all our eggs into one offensive basket, so to speak, won't float. We all know it's a squad game. I mean, that's a very, very good point. And let's see what Douglas James. Jamie, we are Liverpool as #1 biggest fan base in the world. FSG needs our money and don't understand why we give them our money. We have up to, unfortunately, fight to get our club. Boycott Liverpool. You'll never walk alone. Blimey. The Anfield, oh, look at this. I'm getting trolls here. It says Lionel.
I just want to say, I've got to go, Frank. I've got to shoot. Yeah, it's been absolutely amazing. I'll come on next Thursday as well. All right, I'll come back next. Thursday.
Will you?
Yeah, I'll come back next Thursday.
Jamie, you'll be with our Francie.
That's all cool.
You'll meet our Francie.
I'll come back and no, sorry, not next Thursday. The Thursday after.
You're still meeting because
I'm on holiday on Monday, so
excellent. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself.
Yeah, enjoy.
So I'll come back in a couple of weeks, yeah, and we'll see if we got Lavia and send her back through the door. But I just want to say one thing. I was just looking at your stats, and you've gone up, I think, 10 subscribers while you've been live. So big up.
Oh, thank you.
Nice one.
Subscribers, hit that like button, everyone. Make sure you follow everyone on their socials and everything. Nice meeting all of you guys as well. Lovely
Likewise.
you all. And
Good
we'll
stuff,
talk
Jimmy.
soon.
Great stuff.
We'll talk soon. I'll see you soon.
See you soon, Jamie. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. What a fella.
Yeah, oh, he's fire. Yeah, he's good.
Yeah,
he's got 10 subscribers. Yeah, that's wonderful.
Whatever, he's such a sweet person as well, because he's got a great pod as well, and he's got loads of these lads who follow him, and it's just an amazing pod, and he's got great panelists as well. Yeah. He really has good panel, like you, like you lads. I'm not discrediting you in any possible shape or way or form, but they are the brilliance, and that's why he's such a good lad. But the thing is, you see, when you've got this Redbird lad, and he says, as a DM, you must be a rival fan, but he was only messing to that lad. I can't pronounce his bloody name, to be honest. I don't mean to say bloody.
Intertuco.
Isn't that nice, Anfield Road? Get them likes up the chat. Thank you so much, Anfield Road. These are all his mates, These are all his mates. And Thiago can be a bit of a liability when tackling. He's a pure luxury player. Keep.
Yeah, I think we'd said over the last few weeks. I think out the three players that have been out the three of them, Fabinho, Henderson, and Thiago. I think out those three, I think I would have sold Henderson and Thiago before Fabinho personally. Obviously, the others went on a free transfer, but Thiago, the lad's quality. When he plays and he's on form, he's quality. He opens defences up more so than anyone else.
Yes.
Any of the midfielders that we had who've either just left and that's including Jones, Elliott, etc. Thiago can open defences. But how many games a season? Not only us, how many games did Bayern and Barcelona get out of him a season? He is injury prone. That's the side of it. We need someone who's going to come in or play, as a squad, play at least 35 to 40 games a season. We can't rely on the young lads, and I'm talking about Tyler Morton, Bajcetic, players like that coming in. Can't rely on them. We need to be bringing them through in your League Cups, your FA Cups, possibly Europa League, and put them on the bench for a Premier League match, because you can have all those subs that were winning comfortably, then bring them on and try them that way. We can't throw them in because Thiago's getting injured or any of the others are getting injured. And when Jamie was saying before, as regards another question was, how much are we going to spend this season? You weigh up how many, and forget about the Coutinho money, because we bought Alisson and Van Dijk with that money. But if you weigh up how much money we've made on players for over the periods of years since FSG have been there, I'd love to know what the net spend is on what we've brought in from players compared to other clubs, and I'm talking about City, Arsenal, Man United especially, Everton, Villa, Wolves, all these teams that we're near the bottom of the net spend league. And for a club like Liverpool, that's nowhere near good enough. As you said, Frank, in fact, on the Forbes list, we're actually third on the Forbes list of clubs in the world. So it's unacceptable. And until, as supporters, until we come together and let FSG know that this isn't good enough, because whilst we're not doing anything or saying anything or not letting actions speak louder than words, they're going to carry on doing what they're doing in FSG.
Yeah.
We need to walk out at the 20th minute of a game, or not attend the game, or don't buy the merchandise, or whatever, or go and protest. Planes above the ground, above the stadium, it's a waste of money, it's a waste of time. Action speaks louder than words. Football speaks louder than words. And we've got to do something about it, because it's not good enough anymore. It's really not.
No. Well, there's Anfield Row. I'll go straight over to you, Brian. I hope the panel agree, but Brian did us all a favour when we still need defensive signings and midfielders. And that's what the title is. We need defenders. So I'll go to you, Brian, with that. That's it. I think that's a cracking comment. What do you think?
Well, it's a great comment. Yeah, absolutely. As far as defense, I mean, I hate to go cliche, but here goes. I subscribe to that old axiom: offense sells tickets, defense wins championships. And you look at the last 20 years, whatever years, whoever's won the league, look at their goals against. Look, they're probably second or first in the league and least amount of goals allowed. And that's it. We need defenders for a couple of reasons. One, because of the midfield overhaul, some of these guys are new to the league and much less and new to the team, so learning that, and then compounded the new offsides rule, playing that high line. I don't think we have anyone who can recover quickly, or recover. I mean, Gomez, I think was not as fast as he used to be, and he's too unreliable. And again, I'd say mostly, going back to center back, because we have that new midfield. And looks like we'll probably have a 19-year-old some sort, some name, playing defensive mid, and that's a lot to throw at them, especially with the high line and the new midfield and the new system they're learning. So, we need defenders. I would say, right back, center back, or someone who can do both. I know I mentioned Brevard. I'd love to have had him. And then just touch on one more thing. You mentioned how much do we need to spend a year? I'd say 100 million is close, but our budget 40 million per player. That's usually the magic number for FSG. Just figure 40 million for whatever needs you have. 3 midfielders or whatever, or 2 center backs. Okay, just add that number and then adjust it accordingly.
Well, we're a shelter buy club, as you know, and this is why Fabinho, he was asked to leave. You know that, don't you? He never stood up and said, "I want to leave now." He never said that. He said, "You're going, Klopp, you're going, mate, because we need the money for the new players, but new players haven't come in yet for that money." And do you think we might go back in for Kone at the end of the window, say, "Soul boy Fran"? We can't afford to go to the end of the window without anybody. We really can't. But it's a good point. Kismet says, Ralphie Ross says, it did us a huge favour, didn't it, mates? This is like getting beat yesterday. Our attack is scary, but we've got a real low-class defence. I think that's a very good point. Amazing player, this Diaz. He's going to go off this season. But I go along with him there, because we've got players, especially the forwards, especially the forward line, and not only a couple, unfortunately, in midfield, who'll do well for us. Can I ask you, Keith? I've seen someone, and he was not on here, or on Jamie's pod, But he was given Slobozlai. He said, you know, yesterday's game, he was awful. Would you agree with that? I don't.
You know, unfortunately, I was at a funeral yesterday, so I didn't get to see the match. So I'm going to catch up on LFC TV, but I was looking through the Ian Doyle's ratings and that. What you've got to remember is this lad is coming in from a new league, 22 years of age, quality player, by the way, absolute quality player.
Definitely.
But you're relying on a 22-year-old lad coming in from a different league, suddenly had a little bit of an injury as well.
Yeah.
But my biggest fear, look, our front three, or the front five as a collective, I think is envious to. I think every club and every team in the world are envious of our front five. You know, because they are scary. But for us, your defence starts at the front. Every team, from Rushy to Michael Owen, right through. Your defence starts from the front forward, from your forwards, right, your forward line. So if they're not doing the job, then that falls to defence, to your midfield. And you look at the midfield at the moment and what we've got, and you're looking at McAllister, Szoboszlai, Thiago injured, Bajcetic injured, Jones never a number 6, Elliott too small and not good enough in my opinion. Then you're looking at Clark, who I know John Activate was saying to me, is a great player and Klopp holds him in high esteem. He's still 18. He's got no experience of the Premier League. So you're looking at there's 7 midfielders there that we're talking about. We've leaked 4 goals on more than one occasion pre-season. How many times have we left? And don't give me any of that crap about, oh, it's only pre-season, doesn't matter. It does matter. It does matter. So if you look at the goals that we conceded pre-season, precedes what the amount of times we conceded 3 or more goals last season, which was a lot, too many. Never before in the previous seasons under Klopp, certainly, did we concede that many goals on so many occasions. So it worries. It really does worry me for coming into this new season. It really does. And then we talk about again your Mata, your Gomez, Canate. Can he stay injury free? No, he won't. Personally, if we're only going to go and sign one midfielder, defence midfielder, push Trent into midfield, because personally, again, only on my opinion, defensively he's not a great right back. Defensively, offensively, yeah. Defensively, no. Go and sign a right back, and we still need a centre back, but put Trent in midfield, and then go and get a Lavia or whoever. But defensive midfield, or the midfield, really, really worries me. It really does.
Yeah.
Well, there's our Mountaineer, a bit controversial actually. That controversial, it's just opinion. We're starting the pre-season with what we have now. 8 released, sold or loan. 2 in. McAllister hasn't impressed in pre-season, and his reputation was built on a World Cup medal. I'd never heard of the other signing that Slobozlai. Plus, have 3 injuries. I'm genuinely worried we are falling back even further, while the 4 who finished above us have all strengthened good squads.
Yeah. Especially
And this
Arsenal.
is what we've been saying, isn't it? I'm not saying anything about I like McAllister, and I like Slobozlai as well. I really do.
Yeah.
But as he says, as Mark says, what you've got is one reputation of a player with a World Cup medal, but he was great in the World Cup, and he was great for Brighton. Let's not forget. And Slobozlai, I like Slobozlai. Do you know who he looks like? He just reminds me. I was trying to think, and I was looking at him yesterday. I said, he reminds me of someone. And it's Nesta. Not as a player, but, features his face. And it's Nesta of AC Milan. Remember him?
Mm-hmm.
You can see who he looks. Just have a look at him. It's not half like him. But anyway, that's that. I don't know. I really don't know. And just Ravi, lad.
Frank, can I just ask you, maybe you or Brian, is Vega a defensive midfielder?
Oh,
I thought he's box to box.
Yeah, that's what he is. A box to it. That's what I've led to be believed. He's a box-to-box player, but he's very good. He's really good. That's it, and he's mature as well. I think he's
23.
I think he's 22 or 23, but that's mature for me. And that's who we need. We can't rely on 18 and 19-year-olds. But we already got them, if you know what I mean. So what I was told is he's on his way. This is what I was told, Viega. He was on his way. Okay. I mentioned him a couple of weeks ago. I said, what do you think of this Viagra fella? And I just said it, The rest of the teams, going down, going, what was his name, Frank? You don't realise you're saying these daft things. But anyway, let's see what Richard says. We don't.
21-year-old.
He's 21.
21, yes.
Okay. We don't even need stupid oil money to compete. Look at Arsenal. Their owners don't put money into the club, yet they can still spend. We make more profit than them. So why do FSG always refuse? I think that's a cracking. It really is. It really is.
The owner owns the LA Rams. And that's quite a revenue stream. So big difference.
Is that who owns Arsenal? Is it Brian?
Yeah, Kroenke. Yeah, he owns the.
Stan Kroenke. Yeah. But if you look at what FSG did when they bought Mane and Salah and things like that, it's out the window that now. It's a rarity, isn't it? You know what I mean? It really is a rarity to go and do that. But when they done that, Newcastle weren't in the game.
No.
Man United were in transition.
Yeah.
Now Chelsea were they're going to come back next season. Chelsea, by the way, no doubt about it.
Oh no.
So it's going to make it even harder if we don't go out and buy some quality players. It's going to make it even harder when you're up against City, United, Arsenal, Tottenham. Although I don't think it depends on Tottenham who they sell and buy. Chelsea, Newcastle, Villa, Aston Villa are making some good signings. It's depressing.
Oh, totally agree. Well, that's the thing. If we're going to fit into this £40 million niche, and always said earlier, okay, you identify a player, you go and quickly go get them before Newcastle, the other squads catch on, because they'll be looking for the 67 million, whatever. There's a niche for that. That's fine. Yeah. We don't care what they spend, but just you need more velocity, higher cadence and faster velocity on acquiring these players.
Yeah.
This Vega guy, okay, if that's someone you found, go in and get him. There's Andre, this Trindade player you found in Brazil. If he was original target, we would have gotten him, and we would heard about him all summer long. About we found a bargain. It's Brazilian. He's and every caption, every transfer caption you see in the media now, in the first two paragraphs, you say, "Well, we acted early. We got McAllister, Szoboszlai, and Trindade." Anyway, the point is, just get in there early, get the player, get them in the camp.
Absolutely. Can I ask? I'm going to ask both of you and the viewers. Just tell me, where would you start Trent against Chelsea?
Is this with the squad we've got now?
With what we've got now.
What we've got now, we're not bringing anybody in. That's a terrible question, though. That is an awful question, because you know, we're looking at Trent. He could be our saviour in midfield, and I just don't know. Do we put him at right back because he could get roasted?
Yeah.
I'd throw him in midfield.
Me too.
I'd throw him in midfield. See, this is why I've been screaming out. What about you? What about you, Brian? Where would you play him?
This just depends on who we sign this summer.
But he's saying,
I know he's saying, yeah, against Chelsea, there's no real time. I'd probably, this inverted right back. It's been something that's been fun. It worked all summer. I'd go back to conventional 4-back and put him at right back.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what though? I personally, I think offensively he's brilliant. Defensively, he's suspect. But one of the big things, and we've seen it at Brentford last season, we've seen it at Fulham, can't head the ball. You can't defend in the air. And that's where he's targeted. High ball over the top. United have done it for 2 seasons on the run with Rashford and Martial. Put the ball over the top. He's not the quickest at all. That's where I think, you know what, forget about Trent at right back now. Forget it. I'd rather see I don't even believe I'm saying this. I'd rather even have Gomez as a right back just to solidify the defence side of it and put Trent in the midfield because he will open up defences and midfield from being in midfield.
True, I get that. Yeah, I agree with that. But Gomez, he just turned inside out, outside in every which way, 6 ways to Sunday. No, I get what you're saying. Over the top's how you beat Alexander. But I'm thinking about the midfield till they get settled in. At least Szoboszlai and McAllister up high, and depending on if we do Thiago's hurt, whoever we throw in at defensive mid, they're going to need some covering up and some protection.
Yeah.
Fine. If they want to attack on the outside, I'll concede the outside, but I need to contain my spine, contain the middle. That's the only thing I'm thinking. So,
but what about there's something for you, and I think we alluded to this last week, Keith and Brian.
Mm-hmm.
I watched Robertson yesterday, and I thought he was shocking. Albeit, you know, he put the ball over, you know, from the corner for the Van Dijk to score. I thought he was awful. And you mentioned about headers and he can't head a ball. Talking about Trent, and neither can Robbo, because the balls. Bayern Munich knew it. And did you notice their first corners? They were all over right to the back post because they knew that Robertson was absolutely useless in the air. Did you notice that?
Well, Real Madrid did the same thing. They attacked the flanks.
Yeah.
I mean, they set up Robertson and Benzema with can't think of with Vinny Jr. I mean, they just had their way.
Well, that's
what Bayern did with Coman and I want to say Gnabry, but they're susceptible.
Does anyone want to babysit me kids? I need a holiday. Well, listen, lads, it's been absolutely wonderful. And there's been loads of messages, and let's just go right down. Yeah, look, it's only what we were saying before. Now, Francine said, I went to Naples and the kids were wearing LX3 tops. I did sing the VVD song, the Virgil song, but that's another story. But this is it. This is what it's all about. This is what it's all about. And I'll just go through it, a couple of comments. If these frauds had their way, they wouldn't even give us they wouldn't even give us the ground. It would be called corporate tickets, like they used to sell packages with Thomas Cook, as I spoke to you about the other day, says Stephen Evans. And he's right, because he's absolutely right. And I think we'll need a new backup next summer, a right back as well. And that's what Antico says. But anyway, I'll have to leave it because, do you know what?
Frank, just very, very quickly. You know, you're saying about badges, club emblems, the Liver Bird and LFC. You put that anywhere, every country, every person in the world will know exactly who the Liver Bird is, who it belongs to, and what LFC means.
That's right. And you know what? You're right. And I always remember I was in Italy. As you know, I go to Italy quite a lot. And I'm going back about 15, could even be 20 years ago. And I had a cracking shirt. I had, funny enough, Ian Rush's, I don't know how I got them, old shorts. Right, they were Ian Rush's. But I took the badge off and I had it right there. And this Italian looked at me like that. LFC, Liverpool. I said, yeah. He said, it's talking about Scudetto. And I said, yeah. And he said, the bird, he said, Laciello, that's what he said, Lucelli mentions, he said, birds, he said, remind me of two. And this is how he put it. One was France national side,
right?
The cockerel, and the birds, the Liver Bird of Liverpool. So there's only two birds in the world that are associated with one national football club squad, and the other is Liverpool Football Club. And I think that was a great comment he put. And I'm going back 20 years or so like that.
Yeah.
And that's what he said. So, it's can I just say hello to this Captain Sal? He says to our Francie, and I agree. And let's see here. Anfield Road. Frank, Keith, Brian, great show. You'll never walk alone. Liverpool FC. Thank you, Anfield Road. I've got to finish, boys and girls. And these fellas, poor Keith's been working. And I think Brian's still working. And just for me to say to everybody on here, I hope you join us again because we will read out the comments. We'll try to. Please subscribe, please like, get the algorithm out there, and we'll see us all next year. We'll see you next Thursday along with Taz, Keith and Brian. Is that okay? Yeah?
Yeah, see you next week, lads.
Excellent. And I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say this again. And I've been saying it since Szoboszlai, our last signing. Who will we have next week? We could be talking about them and how long has Big Slovo signed for us. So what will we be doing? Don't forget, I have 2 shows a week, and I keep saying it every week. I said it to you last week. Do you think I'll just leave it? Do you think we will, Keith, have someone next week?
I'm going to St. Paul's. I'm going to the Vatican. I'm going everywhere to ask the Lord, just give us at least one, please.
Yeah, just one. We'll make us a DM. What do you think, Brian? Do you think next week we'll be talking about?
Well, I'll join you at the St. Francis DSCC or whatever you want to go. I don't care. Well, mosque, synagogue, I don't care. Whatever works. Yes, I think we will be. Honestly, there's no choice. Excellent. It has to be. So yeah, hopefully it's Vega or they'll chuck us all and get Trelawney out of the blue. Snicker won't happen. But it'd be great if we.
Remember when I said to you last year or the year before? Now I forget.
Yeah.
We're getting this. I said I can't pronounce his name, Shumi or someone like that. And you said Shumani. I said that's him. We're getting him. The money wasn't there for him.
No.
I'm telling you now, the money wasn't there. It was all spin as usual. And that's the sad thing. Redbirds G9. Come for our birds, you're going to get war. And that's absolutely Redbirds. Absolutely. Charlie Wood, you'll never walk alone. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you. Great show, guys, says Redbird D9. Thank you. Francine says, you're on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Yes, Francine, and I'll see you next Tuesday. And I'm praying to get every god
Yes.
of the universe.
Even Pastafarian, I don't care what name it. We'll do that. Yes.
Tough show again. Speak soon, says Lee Brazy. Thanks a lot. Keith, brilliant. Thank you so much. Brian, wonderful.
Cheers.
You're brilliant, lads, honestly. Thank you so much. And I've got to end now. Bed calls. I was... what was that Francine say? Do not say that.
Cheers, Francine.
Oh, great. I'll see you next week, Brian. Thank you.
Thanks, Sean. God bless everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Kate. Shiva Diamo. See you all next week. See you next Tuesday, all you wonderful people. And hopefully Jamie will be back on. Well, he's going on holiday, unfortunately, but he will be back on. And I'll see you soon. Thank you. Next Tuesday. Ciao.